JD. Cheeky.
There we are. We're live. It's Monday.
Timing is so good.
Hope everybody had a dumpity-dumpski weekend because that's what the markets did. But things seem to be looking up a little bit today, so that's exciting. Another episode of Go FUD Yourself. We're going to do the weekend roundup today, which is allowing all of our loyal viewers to enjoy the weekend, touch some grass, do all that shit. What are we talking about today, my friend?
Okay, well, first of all, we're going to talk about how you, in just 11 hours, can become a certified crypto expert. JD's going to love this topic because he really values this type of education. And then we're going to talk about St. Patrick's Day and Dogecoin, because why the heck not? We're going to talk about deepfake AI crypto scams, but specifically Justin Trudeau talking like an Aussie trying to sell crypto as a deepfake. Maybe it's not fake, who knows? And then we've got some SBF and Tucker Carlson. I don't want to say news, I want to say rumors. And then finally, we will end on some good growth, some good news with the Chainlink growth.
Exciting. I have a lot to say about a lot. I have a lot to say about a lot of this.
I know, that's why we don't have more news. Just this. JD's got opinions.
I'm ready to go off already, and we just started. All right, let's go.
Hey, JD, you're from an actual finance background, right?
Yeah.
How do you become a financial advisor? Isn't it like 900 hours of training or something?
No, actually. And this has been one of my biggest criticisms of the investment space for my entire life, is that you could literally have zero experience, zero, none, no clue, no education, no background. And in Canada and the US, you have to write a super simple little exam that almost anybody can pass, and then you become an investment advisor and other people's financial lives are in your hands. I've had a problem with this because in most Western countries, what happens is the vast majority of people that get advice through their like low-level financial institutions, their bank. Most of the people that do investments at these banks are part-time. They've had one weekend, 11 hours of training and an exam, and they have no business telling you what to do with your money because they don't have a darn clue. And so this has been something that I've been a fairly big critic of. I think that similar to accounting in most jurisdictions, you must be a CPA in order to file and have certain rights and so on and so forth. I mean, I've always said the investment business should be the same. You should have to have a professional designation that is as difficult as a CPA or CFA to get. You need an undergrad degree, you need good grades in an undergrad, then you need to go and do the post-grad certification. You have to have a certain amount of job experience, practical experience. I had a CFP and CLU, which is other versions of those accreditations for financial advisory. That took me a couple of years to get them, with like a lot of evenings and weekend reading and studying and exams, and 3 to 4 years of practical experience, I think it required at the time, or something like that. But anyways, like that was totally different. It's not the same even as a CPA. The CPA is a different and more involved process. So is CFA. But yeah, like I just feel like if somebody's going to have the capacity to tell anyone what to do with their money, they should have some education, A, or B, they should have a lot of money themselves so that they're telling you what they're doing, which both of those things are not true, where most people are getting their advice. And so along the vein of the ethos of blockchain, you know, democratizing access to financial products and just making it so much easier for people to have access to this. The problem is that the vast majority of society that really could benefit from this, middle and lower middle class, they just aren't going to get access because they're going to go through, you know, their bank, who's a crypto advisor that took an 11-hour course for $300 and is now telling them to buy Doge and a bunch of NFTs and
Wait, so you're
We
saying we
wonder.
shouldn't take the 11-hour course?
I think everybody should take it, but I don't think it should matter.
Yeah, I don't think it should
Everybody
matter
should
either,
take it
especially
because
when
it's good knowledge, but it doesn't give you enough knowledge, anywhere close to enough knowledge, to be telling other people what to do with their money. Like, come on.
So for
Most people,
clarity, you can take this isn't a new course. This course has been around for a while, but there's a few courses where you can become a certified crypto expert. They range between $200 and about $800 American. They're usually 10 to 20 hours. The one that is hot right now is because it somehow got featured on Bloomberg. So people are really excited about it. Token go up. People want to take this course. They want to know what they're talking about, but they also want to make a quick buck off your back. Right. And I think that's one of the things that we kind of need to draw attention to in terms of dispelling the FUD and the hype is this could be a useful course. If you took it, you might have some knowledge. However, someone who takes this course could also take advantage of you or your mom or whatever. But the thing I also want to put out there is that the people who are running these courses aren't necessarily great. Some of them are fine, like the Blockchain Council, which is an international organization, has this cryptocurrency expert certification. That's probably legit. But then there's also some that are like crypto-training.fin. And you're like, do you do anything else? Is this legit?
So
steal the course?
That's my other criticism, is that I don't think it's very useful. But the other problem is this is generally the first entry point for people, is who they would encounter, or do they want to be an advisor, or do they want to just take this course to learn for themselves? They already are at a disadvantage because they don't know what they don't know. And so many of these courses are scams, like in the sense that they tell you they're going to teach everything, but they don't belong to any accreditation group or community or anything. Like, they're just taking money. That happens a lot in TradFi with like fake certification institutes, especially the ones online. I mean, you just got to be careful, I guess. Don't get me wrong, I think any education is good. I just don't think after 11 hours you should be able to tell anybody what to do with their money.
I also want to point out, in case you decide to look into this a little bit further, that there are quite a few crypto certification companies that have come under scrutiny. So one includes the American Bitcoin Academy, which had a scam involving more than $1 million and just recently reached an SEC settlement. So definitely do your due diligence, do your own research about what you're going to do your own research with.
American Bitcoin Academy. You know, it'll be interesting to see when business schools start incorporating this, if they haven't already. I know there's a lot of schools in computing science that has blockchain, but it'll be interesting to see if we get some formal education and research on the business of blockchain for, well, commerce undergrads. I think that'd be pretty interesting and could parlay nicely into a postgrad certification if there was an actual one, which I'm sure there will be. It'll just be another series, some numbers exam in the US like there is currently. You'll just have to have that allows you to be a registered crypto advisor. But anyways.
So on the topic of false authority, Elon Musk tweeted about St. Patrick's Day and people lost their ding dong minds. And meme coin went up.
Number go up, meme coin go up. I didn't even know that it was St. Patrick's Day until I was at lunch yesterday with my mom, and we're looking around. I'm like, why is everybody wearing green?
Yeah.
And it was like the obvious St. Patty's green, like bright, bold green. Totally. And like, everywhere, there's kids with like green in their hair. I'm like, what is going on? Is there like a sports team? It took me way too long to realize that it was St. Patrick's Day, which I should know because my wedding anniversary is today. It's the day after St. Patrick's Day. So I should always know when St. Patrick's Day is. But I also don't often know when my wedding anniversary is. Christina and I both had this conversation the other day. What day is it? Is it the 16th or the 18th? Like, we don't even know, which is hilarious.
In March, probably.
Sometime in March. Yeah. It's somewhere around St. Patrick's Day. Anyways, okay. So meme coins. Let me intro this one. Okay. So as you kind of led with, Elon celebrated St. Patrick's Day with a tweet. Obviously, it was an image of, well, not obviously, but it was an image of 3 dogs wearing green hats. Shiba Inu, synonymous with Dogecoin, and others. The move sparked a flurry of positive reactions from fans of Dogecoin, Floki, and Shib, including comments from significant figures within these communities. Musk, known for his love of memes and a significant influence on the meme coin market, which is insane, also referenced a popular phrase amongst crypto fans, reinforcing his engagement with the community. In a separate development, Musk's AI venture, XAI, announced open sourcing of Grok 1, a chatbot AI with significant advancements, demonstrating his commitment to transparent AI development. That feels like a weird pivot at the end of that article.
It super is, except some people are thinking that he's like trying to pump the meme token to get attention for Grok. And
yeah. I mean, good for him. Master marketing, obviously, if he has that much influence that he can get it going. But did you run out and buy any meme coins? I mean, we know I didn't, but
no, I was like, I'm gonna wake up on St. Patrick's Day bright and early and tank a beer and then buy some meme coins. That's totally how I spent my day.
Yeah. So I spent the weekend wondering why anybody buys meme coins. As I'm seeing like all this nonsense happening, you know, with Doge pumping and all this other crap, I'm going, what? Why is anybody pumping Doge, or any of this stuff? And so it's one area of crypto that I shouldn't talk about because I really just don't understand at all how people get into it. I don't understand how anybody can justify any of the valuations that they're at. Obviously, it goes against my investment thesis, but I don't know. Good on Elon, because I mean, if you have the opportunity to pump things,
yep,
go for it. I don't know, flex that influence.
Okay, well, do you think that pretend Justin Trudeau is also influential?
No.
Okay.
Because
okay, so
I don't know anybody that can look at his face
and not laugh.
take it seriously.
That's why he's perfect for meme coining and for these types of things. Okay, so on Facebook, this advertisement had a deepfake of the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau with an Australian accent promoting a crypto scam. So the ad, which tried to look like a 2023 Canadian Broadcast Corporation podcast interview with Trudeau, presents the scam as a limited government-backed investment opportunity exclusively for Canadians. Experts such as McGill University's Angus Bridman argue that the ad's low quality intentionally targets those who are less digitally literate and highlights the broad risk of AI-generated content in manipulating public perception and exacerbating misinformation. This development underscores the urgent need for awareness and regulatory responses to combat the misuse of AI technologies in disinformation campaigns.
Yeah. So, caveat, I'm not a big Trudeau fan, but let's take my Trudeau...
Let's just forget about that.
Let's take my distaste
None of us
for
are Trudeau fans. It's okay. I don't think Trudeau is a Trudeau fan right now.
I don't know. Even his own wife is not a Trudeau fan. Well, ex-wife now, I guess. But okay, now that we're done picking on the leader of Canada, if you can call him a leader, AI. I mean, this is something that Elon and many have been warning of for a long time, and none of us really. I can't speak for everybody, but I definitely didn't give it as much value as it probably deserved because I didn't think AI was going to get that good that fast. But I saw my kids watching like months ago, watching these weird like deep fakes of Obama, Trump, and Biden talking while people are playing video games. And they're like, that was just voice. It wasn't graphics, but it was like stupid accurate. And I was like, whoa, that's kind of crazy. And now we're seeing this type of thing. And so they were actually talking about this. It made its rounds in the news last week, not Trudeau per se, but just the deepfake, the impact of deepfake, and what this AI is now doing for, unfortunately, the porn industry and how people's likeness are being used in that way, which could be criminal in some places they're suggesting. So I also agree that there's probably a need for some version of regulation on this stuff. Like certain things probably shouldn't be allowed because deepfakes, the thing about these deepfakes is you don't even need to be like this particular ad was low quality, whatever, but you don't need to be that sophisticated to do these things. And that's, I don't know. It's easy for people to.
There's a Black Mirror episode on this, actually.
A what?
A Black Mirror episode on this. I know you're not a big TV fan, but for anyone who's watching on Twitter and is like, I've heard this plot before, it's because there's a Black Mirror episode where the actors and actresses can sell their likeness like to Netflix, and then Netflix can just produce whatever they want. And Yeah, it's like a whole thing. So people are like maybe more aware of this than we think they are, but at the same time, it's pretty spooky because how do you tell the difference? And especially if you're older or not digitally literate, like how do you know?
Here's the other thing. I've got two final points, and then we can move on because people probably don't really care what I have to think about this. But the first one is, what does our AI czar in America, Miss Kamala Harris, plan to do about this? And I think that the original answer is probably nothing.
Yeah.
They're probably not going to do anything in the short term. Obviously, I love that Elon is pushing for open sourcing a lot of this stuff. But the flip side is there's a lot of malicious videos that you don't want to believe. The flip side is you're also less likely to now believe all videos because they could be a deepfake. Now, the other thing is something that we've leaned upon for decades in criminal trials is video evidence.
Mm-hmm.
How now can you ever trust video evidence?
Absolutely.
Unless there's a way to trace it back to being AI generated, which they're trying to do, trying to find ways that are immutable to always tell that something was created, the genesis of an idea or an image or something was created via AI. I don't know what the answer is. I just think we better start seriously thinking about this because AI is getting to the point. I mean, there's people suggesting we might have AGI in the next year, which is like kind of insane. Like we can't sleep on this because all of a sudden this is going to permeate every area of our lives, period.
Yeah.
So I think we definitely need to give a little bit more attention to this kind of stuff. But anyways, enough about Mr. Blackface. I mean,
I think there's one other thing to point out here, which is not specifically about Trudeau and isn't explicitly about the deepfakes, but is actually about the scam itself. So they took Justin Trudeau and they gave him an Australian accent. And you're like, I wonder why that would be. Why wouldn't they just keep Justin Trudeau's voice so that you truly believe that it's him? And I think this comes down to a liability component in terms of corporate legality, which is, do you have reasonable belief in the claims that the company is making, right? That's something that we saw with like moms with Nutella. It's something that we saw with, I think, Shreddies, with Diamond Shreddies. There are always corporate lawsuits.
Kinder eggs, that was another one.
But it was like, okay, so with reasonable belief, do you believe that the claims are true or do you believe that they're a joke? And so I think this scam might be able to get away with being a scam by saying, well, it's obviously a joke product.
It's obviously not Trudeau.
Yeah.
Because Trudeau doesn't have an American accent. Now, if he had a Cuban accent.
Right.
I mean, he is Fidel Castro's son.
Okay, let's continue on the topic of false authority.
Because
that's all we're doing today. Did you see this thing about Sam Bankman-Fried and Tucker Carlson? Because I feel like this should have been on your Twitter.
Yeah, it's all over my Twitter.
Okay, you tell us about it then. You know more about it than I do.
No, I'll just. Well, first from the article, it says a Facebook advertisement displaying. Whoops. Wrong one. Sam Bankman-Fried, the disgraced founder of the collapsed cryptocurrency exchange FTX, concocted a plan to reshape his public image, as if that was possible, by aligning with the right-wing populist narratives, as revealed in a secret memo. According to the memo, part of the Justice Department's filing, recommending a 40 to 50-year prison sentence, which would be, let's put a pin in that. I want to talk about the 40 to 50-year sentence. But he considered appearing on Tucker Carlson's show, openly supporting Republican causes as a strategy to distance himself from his previous association with progressive politics in the Democrat Party. The memo further outlines Bankman-Fried's intentions to deflect blame for FTX's downfall onto others, including his legal team and ex-girlfriend, rather than accepting personal responsibility. Justice Department criticized his approach as a cynical attempt to spin a redemption narrative filled with lies and false hope. With Bankman-Fried's sentencing scheduled for March 28th, the prosecution seeks a lengthy prison term, of course, contrasting starkly with his family's plea for a significantly reduced sentence. How do you feel about this one before I give you my opinion?
Oh, no, I only want your opinion. This is just such a nothing burger for me.
Yeah. So Sam Bankman-Fried is a twerp and needs to just piss off and go to jail and take responsibility for the billions of dollars that he cost people directly and indirectly tens of billions of dollars that his actions cost a lot of people. And so I think we should not even be having this conversation about his image, because in my opinion, he should have an image. His image is gone. As far as I'm concerned, there's no such person as SBF. The guy can beat it. Okay, I don't like SBF. Cost me a lot of money, cost the space, in my opinion, potentially years in setbacks. One could argue that it forced the government's hand, and here we are with an ETF, whatever. So I have no sympathy for Bankman-Fried. The other problem here is that you can't flip-flop political ideologies because it's convenient. Like, you can't be a staunch far left liberal, and then when that becomes inconvenient, now just claim you're a right-wing conservative. Like, that's not how it works. Now, to his credit about Tucker, I think I'm a big Tucker fan. To anybody that knows me knows that I like Tucker. Yeah, I don't always agree with what he has to say, but I like his enthusiasm. But Tucker's new show, since he's been off Fox News, has been really interesting. He's been kind of interviewing, well, not kind of, he's been interviewing people that you're like, whoa, like Putin and many others. I've been very surprised that Tucker's interviewing them because they're not his normal guests. Oh. And his whole philosophy is, we just want to hear the other side of the story, because the media is giving us such a skewed version. We don't likely agree with any of it, but we just need, everybody deserves to hear it, because it doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that you're going to like Bankman-Fried or whoever, but everybody deserves to hear, I suppose. Anyways, 40 to 50 years. That's the last thing I put a pin in. That's insane. Madoff received more time for less, I think for less fraudulent funds. I can't remember which one was more. This was, in my opinion, there was way too many intentional acts here. This was no different than the Madoff or Enron or any of this stuff where there was a significant series of decisions that were made that a reasonable person had to have known were going to be problematic. So 40 to 50 years, I mean, the guy will be 80. Okay, fine, but it still doesn't set the precedent, I think, that the space is looking for. I would be surprised if they got anything less than 40 to 50 years, but we'll have to see. I mean, he is getting punished. He was found guilty, so I mean, at least there's going to be some justice here. I don't think many of the people involved feel a sense of justice, but hopefully over time we get made whole-ish. Now that the markets have rebounded, that it might actually be possible. You won't get your market growth, but you might get some of your assets back. Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But as far as I'm concerned, Bankman-Fried can beat it. I don't want to hear about that guy anymore.
Okay, well, let's stop talking about him then. Stop giving him our voices. Let's end on a good note. Like you said, the markets are rebounding. So here's one really interesting indicator of mass adoption, of a market go up, of your assets are worthwhile. So Chainlink's cross-chain interoperability protocol has had 180% surge in revenue in just 2 months. So we might call that massive adoption. Hard to say yet. It launched in July 2023, and the protocol's fee revenue has grown from about $61,000 in January to $171,000 in just the first half of March. So this is probably because the use of Chainlink's multi-chain bridging platform has gone up, basically. I think this is a really big deal because this means that it's not only retail users, but that means institutional users, as Chainlink has been targeting, are also using this. So the protocol's success is underscored by more integrations, the ETH then can upgrade, more services, and I think Chainlink is kind of leading some of our mass adoption. What do you think?
You think?
I think.
I think you're excited about this one. So maybe you should go out
about this one.
Maybe you should go out and buy some Link. What I like about this is a narrative and price action and excitement that is being driven by real business fundamentals. Revenue increase over a certain amount of time, obviously, is a metric that we should be tracking as businesses. So I love this. I talk a lot that I think we need much more objective valuation models in crypto. We should be talking about the solvency and the potential future of a business and what that value could be. And that should be how we're assessing investment decisions. Currently, that's not what happens often in crypto. So I love to see this. I've been a big, maybe not a critic, but we've talked a lot lately about the proliferation of L1s and L2s and some of the actual problems that presents. It seems good because there's more airdrops for everybody to farm, but there's way more complexity every time we add more and more L1s, because you have different bridges and different token standards, and we're now seeing more and more different virtual machine programming languages. Is there compilers? Is there not? Anyways, it's becoming more and more complex as a builder. And so I've been saying for a very long time, the other kind of unintended drawback of this is that people aren't launching protocols on the ecosystems that make the most technical sense.
Mm-hmm.
They're launching protocols on the ecosystems that they think have the most hype and potential for short-term appreciation. That doesn't make a long-term sustainable business. You need people to say, okay, here's my tech, here's what I'm building, here's the technical platform that allows that to work better than anywhere else. Let's build there.
Yeah.
The problem with that is often some of the technically enhanced blockchains haven't gotten to mass adoption yet, or mass momentum narrative. And so then you could launch on this and you could have great tech, but you've got no users. So the challenge has been this siloed liquidity on all these different L1s and L2s moves around. There's a velocity of that liquidity, but it's opportunistic. We're not getting more liquidity on each of these ecosystems. We're getting the same liquidity moving faster. Anyways, Chainlink CCIP, as a space, we've been excited about for a long time. They've been talking about it for a long time. Its release was delayed, obviously, for a whole host of reasons. But now, excuse me, it really is giving protocols the capacity to, it's one of the solutions, giving protocols the capacity to go multi-chain in a much different, much more efficient, user-friendly, user experience enhanced way via CCIP. Super exciting. I'm a big fan of this. I think this is a big upgrade for the user experience in the space in general. It'll take some time before adoption picks up to the level that everybody feels the benefit from it, but I don't think it'll take that long. Everybody piles on. Once Chainlink has the infrastructure ready to add people quickly, I think it'll happen. It'll happen fast.
Thank you, Brian.
So pretty damn exciting.
This is a really good news day. Markets go up, scams go down. It's all pretty
Markets
good.
Up,
but for those
markets
of you
up,
who are
scams
joining
down.
us on Twitter, just so you know, you can join us on YouTube. And on YouTube, you can tell us your own opinions, like some of our regulars. Thanks for always tuning in, Ascending Man. So join us on YouTube. You can make comments. We'll respond to your comments. Tomorrow, we have Bitcoin and ETH news. Wednesday, we have DGen news. Thursday is my favorite, the crypto arms race. Friday's usually a catch-all, but this week we're going to do a CBDC report because there's been a lot of news in the last week and a half about what's going on with CBDCs internationally.
Whoop, whoop. I'm not a fan. That'll be a big FUD day. Super exciting. It's going to be a great week. I think we're going to see a lot of positive movements in the markets. So everybody have a great week. Thanks for joining us on
Like,
Monday.
share, subscribe.
Like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, do all that shit on YouTube or Twitter or wherever you're watching us. And with that, today I say to you, Kiara, go find yourself.
Find yourself.
Later.